Modern gaming is connecting players across the globe and even bringing the best of them to packed arenas. Will changing times be just the challenge that brings Take-Two to the next level?
Not long ago, everyone was freaking out that the big video game publishers were in the crosshairs of these popular new battle royale style multiplayer games as Fortnite, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. The stocks of Electronic Arts, Activision Blizzard, and Cramer uber-fave Take-Two Interactive, well, they all sold off hard. But when we actually heard from these companies, the numbers were excellent, and the stocks have caught fire. Consider Take-Two Interactive, TTWO. That's the company responsible for Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption, and a host of other incredibly popular sports titles under the 2K banner like NBA 2K18, WWE 2K18. Now, this stock was already running off of the pin action from EA and Activision. It's up about 25% from its early April lows. That's the context you need to understand when looking at the quarter they just reported last Wednesday night. Now, the numbers themselves were a little complicated. Even though Take-Two gave you strong top and bottom line beat, management's full-year revenue guidance was pretty tepid, so they pushed out a major new release that was assumed to be the new Borderlands title to the next fiscal year. But the stock shrugged it off and actually ended up rallying a bit because everybody's focused on Red Dead Redemption 2, which comes out in October, expected to be a major blockbuster. So can the stock keep climbing? Let's take a closer look with Strauss Zelnick, the chairman and CEO of Take-Two Interactive Software. Hear more about the quarter and where the company's headed. Mr. Zelnick, welcome back to Mad Money. Good to see you, Strauss. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Well, first, a lot of people buried the lead. I'm going right there. 25 years, happy anniversary.
Thank you very much. Well, I've only been there 11.
All right, but still, what it says is this franchise is still got great growth.
Yeah.
You have a moment in the conference call where you talk about how come there's so much media consolidation. And you say it's because the ones that are consolidating don't have that kind of growth. What's the secret?
Well, in our case, the secret is unfortunately pretty well known, which is we're in the only growing sector in the entertainment business, which is interactive entertainment. Right. And our cohort is about 37 years old, and you continue to enjoy the entertainment that you grew to love when you were 17 for the rest of your life. So that cohort will continue to grow as people naturally age. So the wind is at our back. Now, what we do with it is a separate issue. We still have to execute.
Now, Grand Theft Auto, at one moment again in the call, 95 million, calling it the greatest entertainment property. I'm thinking it may be the greatest sales of a product in any consumer market, especially at that price point.
Well, I'm not sure. I think we're beat by iPhone and a number of other products.
Okay, that's a good point. But 95 million of entertainment is an extraordinary figure.
MarketWatch says that it's the highest grossing entertainment product of all time. The most important thing is it's the highest rated game for this console generation, that consumers love it, and that more than 4 years after its release, Grand Theft Auto Online just had another record year.
That's amazing. Now, another thing that I thought was important, you don't buy back stock if you don't think it's worthwhile. You spent a fortune buying back stock this quarter.
Right. We spent at the end of 18 and the first quarter of fiscal 19 about $300 million at an average price of $99 a share. And you know, Jim, there are three ways we treat our capital: organic growth, inorganic growth, returning capital to the shareholders. We like to do buybacks when we perceive there's deep value in the marketplace. Right now, that looked like a pretty good decision.
Right.
We'll see how it is in the fullness of time.
You gave an actual explicit date for Red Dead Redemption. Risky to do that?
Hand on heart, it's October 26th.
Now, I want people to understand, this is a studio. Two brothers actually do the great work at the studio, and they're artists. And the last thing you're going to do is tell an artist what to do and when it's due. So they've told you that it's good.
That's right. When I said hand on heart, it's over 1,000 people at Rockstar Games with their hands on their hearts.
All right. Now, we talk a lot about NVIDIA and the revolution in chips for graphics. Play into all the different things you want to do?
Absolutely. We have technology forms the backdrop on which our artists create. Okay. And one of the reasons this is such an exciting medium is that we still have a very steep upward curve in what technology will enable us to do. And that's not ending anytime soon.
You mentioned in the call that Westerns people don't think Westerns are that good. What's the secret here?
Well, conventional wisdom before we launched Red Dead Redemption was that Westerns don't work in video games. That's no longer conventional wisdom because Red Dead Redemption was a huge hit. I think now the question is, Westerns seem to find their moment at certain times. And I believe this is one of those moments.
Now, Fortnite, you say it actually expands the category. Obviously, that's been proven empirically. Why did people, do you think, well, you can't control the market, but people seem to think that it was going to take away from you, but it's very different audiences.
Well, first of all, Fortnite is a free-to-play title. Secondly, it apparently speaks, at least anecdotally, to a younger audience. And there seems to be a good deal of evidence that those who are playing Fortnite are new to the category. And as they age, they will obviously be consumers of more mature titles. And currently, they can consume titles that are rated for everyone. My view is it would be great if we could corner the market on all hits. That's not realistic. The emphasis is on innovation, not derivation.
Okay, NBA 2K, anything to worry about? You did say it wasn't as good as you thought it was going to be in terms of sales.
No, it had another record year. So
no, but you did say when you gave guidance that you didn't, that you were surprised.
Where we were surprised is we had guided up the fourth quarter and we fell a little bit short from our expectations. We still sold in 9 million units, up 17% year over year. Recurrent consumer spending was up 34%, another record year for the title. It's continuing to boom.
Okay. How was that March 8th meeting with the president?
It was interesting.
Oh, well, it's kind of a broad-ranging word there.
I haven't talked a lot about it publicly. I think that the truth is that when you're asked to show up and have a conversation on a serious topic, you show up. Our position is plain.
Okay, it's been consistent, and I know that the president also talked about movies, so it's not like he was picking on video games.
Not at all.
Your private product, the
private division.
Private division. Right. It's a lot of names. Can we expect something big, or what have you seen? So
private division is intended to bring the independent developer community into our publishing family.
So they think to go to you, otherwise they would do it on their own and not make it?
Do it on their own, get independent capital. I think these are very, very highly creative, successful developers. They have availability. They have capital available to them. We had to make them comfortable that they could be within the four walls of a major publisher and still have creative freedom. And what this allows us to do is expand our footprint beyond the incredibly creative people who already work within the Take-Two family to independent developers. We won't have any releases in the current fiscal year. We expect them thereafter.
Well, good. I don't want guidance on that because obviously you want creative freedom, and that is also sometimes in conflict with guidance.
So you should have no expectations.
Excellent. Thank you so much. That's Strauss Zelnick, Chairman and CEO of Take-Two Interactive, which is just in a growth path that is, well, it's still accelerating. Mad Money's back after the break. Booyah! Jim Cramer here from Mad Money. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube. Click here to subscribe and get the jump on my exclusives with CEOs, plus market news, investing advice, and a whole lot more.